Notes.
Yeah.
You take notes?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes I take notes. I'm usually a little scatterbrained, but yeah, when I get things down, I put them in a note.
Okay, so you got 18 different note apps?
Probably.
Or...
Yeah, no, I have a few. Like, no, we've hawked a couple, and I used them, and I've used some other apps, and I've got a few things that, nope.
Okay, so maybe not an app, but what's your favorite way to take notes? Is it Markdown?
Yeah, I think so. Most of the apps that I use all use Markdown, so
yeah,
I think that's my favorite. Yeah, I'm not so much like the WYSIWYG type. I'm fine with just looking at the code view, honestly.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily have the preview panel open on the ones that offer the preview panel. At least at first, I usually do a rough go of things, and then I'll go looking at it.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how I do it. So this whole conversation came up because in the live stream, I was complaining, I guess, about...
Yeah, you had a gripe. That's cool.
So Markdown, right? It's very easy to read. It's very easy to write and get your headings in there.
Yeah,
and
like rich
your
text.
Links and right. You can make it look pretty, and you don't have to take your hands off the keys. That's really cool, and I like that a lot. But one thing that has been bothering me is that, and you're gonna see it in the KDE history, that every single one of these episodes, I try to flex a little bit of the writing. More on the writing and less on the here's some straight facts. Straight facts
I get
at
that.
you.
Yeah.
And one of the things that has come up is when I read back what I wrote, it's really hard to do that in Markdown view. So you have to go over a preview view. And the thing that makes it so hard is links. So when you do a link, basically square bracket around the thing that you want to become the link, the thing that you click on, and then in parens right next to it, you put where you want the link to take you to, right?
Right.
But when you're in the Markdown editing mode, that takes up
a lot of space.
Yeah, I'm dealing with archive links a lot of times, and some of these note windows don't go wide enough.
Yeah,
and the archive link takes up 2-3
lines.
2
lines, yeah.
And so if I'm reading that back, I have to skip down 3 lines. I lose my place. I lose the flow. And so it gets a little weird. Now, remember, I like Markdown. I like it a lot.
Right.
But I was complaining about this on the live stream, and I got a couple of suggestions. So, the first of which was, "Hey, have you read the manual?"
Yeah,
they didn't write it like that.
It wasn't quite like that, but you're not wrong, right? Have you checked the manual? Yeah,
yeah, in the nicest way possible.
It was the perfect way possible, but yes.
Yeah, Dominic in Telegram mentioned reference style links. He gave me a link to essentially just the manual for Markdown, and I appreciate that kind of answer, though. That is an answer that I like, because I like to go figure it out myself. That is a big thing about me.
And it's good to have a reference, right? Yeah.
Right. So apparently what you can do is, instead of linking like a word or words and then having the link right out next to that, you can just do a number in square brackets, and then lower down on the document, you can reference that number and then put the link. So it makes it so much easier to read, because instead of, 3 lines of linkage, you've got 3 characters of linkage. Vast improvement. So I liked that a lot. And then, the same day, Furicle on Mastodon backed him up. Same deal. Same information, almost the same link. I think it was the same doc, but I think Furicle had the laser focus on the thing.
Yeah.
But I had found it by that point. But it's fantastic. So there's a way to do it without tripping me up while I'm reading it, and that's actually pretty cool. And then right after that, the conversation got steered to MarkText, which is an editor that kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It's very much like the Nextcloud Notes, where you got style and substance, the Markdown substance, in the same place.
Yeah, in the view. Yeah.
All right. But I have a third solution.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to say it. I don't mind bloat, because I guarantee you using this only for notes is the epitome of what many folks would call bloat. So I got a note-taking app, and it came with a browser.
Ah.
Yeah, Dan, this is your favorite browser, as a matter of fact.
It's, one or two. Like, they're like, I waffle back and forth between Firefox and Vivaldi, right? So
okay, so it's one of your two favorite browsers.
But it's got some features that I do love, yes, and I do use it as a browser primarily.
Yeah, if bloat were a browser,
yeah, Vivaldi's
it would be Vivaldi.
No, I'm not gonna lie, like, it comes with everything, including the kitchen sink. Yep, I'm
Dude,
sure that's in there.
yeah.
I'm sure it's one of the buttons you can push.
I guarantee it, over there with the Mastodon link and the notes link and the calendar link and the mail link.
I swear I saw the kitchen sink button. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So apparently, and here's the killer feature. This is the thing that does it for me. Yeah. Vivaldi has sync.
Yes, it does. It does have sync. Yep.
So Vivaldi has notes, and
let me, before you go too far, I'll say that I've never used Vivaldi sync. Like, I only recently have I actually turned on the Firefox sync stuff. Mm-hmm. Typically in the past, I guess I'm too much of a tinfoil hatter about this particular topic.
Yeah.
That I don't really know how much I like that. Even still, it doesn't quite give me the heebie-jeebies, but it doesn't make me feel real comfortable. That's all.
Yep. The only thing about the Vivaldi sync is that the only kind of information they could possibly vacuum up from me is a weirdo that really, really enjoys Linux and desktop history.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Who is this guy? How do you even sell to him?
Yeah, I get I'm probably super uninteresting, but at the same time, like, it's, there's your history is getting passed around, right? I can get over it, though.
Well, I don't want you to get over it,
right,
because I don't think I'm over it. I trust Firefox to do that kind of thing, but the stuff I'll do in Vivaldi is I'm currently considering using Vivaldi just for the history digging for these episodes because of the notes thing, because that's where I do my writing. So
it's nice having them together.
Yes. All right. But here's why. Here's why I decided to kind of dodge the reference style links and dodge MarkText for now. This is in flux. I don't know, it might change. But Vivaldi Notes, it opens up a panel, and it looks like a note app. It doesn't look like a Markdown app. And as a matter of fact, if you don't go clicking around, you'd never know it was Markdown. This is my favorite thing about technical stuff. If you can put something in front of someone that is not technical and they could use it just fine, that is a winner.
That's true.
And this is exactly what Vivaldi was trying to do. You got to go find the little visual text toggle. And when you click on the text toggle, what do you know? It's Markdown back there. And I think they need to add a couple of features, but like quoting, there's no button to quote. But by default, it looks just like, like Evernote or Apple Notes or whatever, right? It's it's WYSIWYG, right? There's bold italics and stuff up at the top, and it works for notes. The end. And that's fantastic. So like I can't do quotes. There's a lot of quotes in the notes. But I can't do quotes. I have to swap over to Markdown, add the little sideways caret, and then do the quote, and then toggle back. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
It works that way?
Yes. Yes. And sometimes the formatting will get kind of junked up, but then I swap over to the Markdown mode and just kind of tinker it up. Because I like Markdown. I like messing with that. That's fine. And it works perfectly.
Okay. So it does render whatever you put in there.
Yes. It you cannot tell just by looking at it, but it is a pure Markdown editor. You're just defaulted to the preview mode, but the killer feature about this is that you can edit in the preview mode.
Right.
That's the one thing. That's why I was so attracted to Nextcloud's implementation, which is you can edit and preview, but it favors the Markdown look.
Yeah.
But Vivaldi goes the other way, where they favor the doc style look, where you don't see the hashes and the carets and stuff. But I like that because, again, while reading, it makes it so much easier to parse. So,
well, that's why we put like headings and underlines on things, right? It is easier to parse after it's been formatted. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm looking at our Markdown notes right now,
mm-hmm.
but I ain't in the Markdown style. I'm in the preview mode where the emojis look cool and I can just read.
Right.
That's super important. So anyway, the workflow is really nice. A little janky at times, but it's really nice. The thing that is making me kind of second guess it is that I signed into the sync. I had to resurrect the account that I made years ago and then sign into it, and then I signed into it on a couple other devices, and I opened up Vivaldi on those devices, and the notes weren't there.
Did it sync your other things?
I don't know. I didn't look. I don't care about any. I just wanted to sync the notes.
I was just wondering if it did any syncing.
It could have. I'll have to check. But right now I'm kind of in a weird limbo where I had to use my Nextcloud notes to kind of like copy paste from one device to the other. If Vivaldi can do the syncing on the notes, I might not be able to leave.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I don't do images, so I'm not worried about butting up against some kind of weird Vivaldi, you can only have 500 megabytes or something.
Too big.
Limit.
Your files are too big or something,
so that would be great.
It would be. That's pretty cool. I have not tried the syncing, like I said, so even though you told me not to, I think I might now.
Do it.
Yeah, I
want to find out what I've been doing wrong.
Or if I can make it work. Which might not happen. I don't know.
You probably can.
So, so I've never used that. Like, I have used obviously we use HedgeDoc to share between us, which is fantastic. Like, I feel like that is a great platform if you're collaborating on a document, right? There's other things you can do, but this is just kind of seamless and it works great.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't matter where you edit your notes. You can plop them in there as long as they're marked down, which is just a cut and paste sort of operation, and that's easy enough. But where I'm going with that is I have used Joplin is the other note-taking app that I've used, and it will do syncing on the back end, and so you can set it up to use any number of things to be your back end storage place.
That's Janis Joplin. Whoop.
Not Janis, no, not the singer.
Got it.
Joplin note-taking app, and it can use OneDrive, Google Drive.
Super typical.
You can use
editor
all of
for
those
Markdown.
things, but you can use your Nextcloud too as just pure storage, straight up storage if you want it as well. It has all the things, right?
This would probably be a pretty decent front end for the actual Nextcloud notes. So, like, you could, if you didn't have Joplin available, you could just go straight into the Nextcloud notes and edit them directly, as opposed to using the Joplin front end.
And so it's it's cross-platform. The nice thing about it is it works on, at least for me, works on an Android as well, right? So I can sync my things all around any device I have. So that's
what?
That's the other one I've used. I've used Apostrophe a bunch of times.
That one's good for just plain writing.
Right.
Once you start needing to do lots of complicated things,
it does.
I feel like some other editors might be a little bit better. But if I'm just plain writing, like not for the show or anything like that, I'm just writing. Apostrophe's beautiful, fantastic. It's amazing.
And I would paint Ghostwriter in the same vein.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're very similar, right?
They are. It's not Ghostwriter, is it?
No, it's
like,
not.
Okay, all right.
But yes,
making sure.
Yes.
We got the K flavor in this episode today.
Yeah, we do. So I've used both of those as well, and they're fantastic on their own.
Yep.
But that's it. They're just on their own. Typically, you have to do some more manual intervention to make the sync stuff happen. If that's what you're looking for.
I could if like apostrophe exploded one day and was no longer around, I could move to Ghostwriter and it would be just as good.
Yep.
I really appreciate Ghostwriter.
Yep.
And it's written in Qt, right?
It is
cute.
Yeah, it is. It's cute. So
very cool.
Yeah, I like both of those. I can use that just fine. And like I've used those just to not collaborate things sometimes on purpose, right?
Yeah. Well, I like having local stuff. I like writing it just here. I like I'm about to say something stupid because I have to open up Vivaldi, which is a browser, to get to my notes in this case, right? But I don't like opening up a browser and going to a website to do notes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As I was just talking about.
Well, and the other thing is
notes.
like the mobile device integration component, right? I don't enjoy writing on my mobile device, but if I need to take some notes and have it again later without getting my phone back out, I like that option of having to be able to sync those things around. So in a way, that's pretty good.
That's killer, man. It's really good. It's really good. So I'm messing around with it. I haven't settled on what I want to do. Vivaldi looks like a pretty clear front runner, but it does come with a whole lot of what folks might actually call bloat. But
the browser part's pretty good for me. So like I don't know. Like I feel like I like one of the things I absolutely love is tab stacking. I like stacking my tabs that belong together. So especially when I'm doing things for like the show or whatever, I'll have like all
85.
Well, like in this episode, right? I'll have all the KDE things, and I'll have all the cute things, and then I'll have KDE neon stuff, or like I can put them all in a group and stack them up, and then it expands and collapses, and it doesn't look too cluttered when you get all said and done.
Yeah. Well, it helps avoid that whole you only got icons because you have so many tabs open you can't even tell what anything is anymore.
Or
it
the
helps
big
avoid
long
that.
list that you got to scroll through.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you can do the tabs on the side. I didn't even do that. I haven't done that yet. That may be something. All right. Well, I'm not going to leave Firefox though. Absolutely not. So it will be a history digging browser for me if that's what it comes to. But everyday life still going to be Firefox.
You're probably watching us on YouTube, but if you're not watching us on YouTube, you can and you should. So go over there, hit the bell, subscribe, do all those things. But additionally, if you just want our faces and some history, you can go over to TILvids and catch us there, where we've got all the history bits released in video. And,
that's right.
And if you really love us, give us a buck or two and over on Patreon and help support the show. If you're a patron, you get things early, and maybe you get the worst of things for the most money. I'm not sure.
Yeah. How did we phrase that? It was
you get the full unedited show over there, which is cool.
Yeah.
And,
you pay the most to get the worst. Is that what we said?
I think so. Yeah, you pay the most, get the worst. That's how this goes.
It's true, because you get the stuff that I have to cut out of the show. Right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you get all the flubs and redos, and but that's not it, right? I mean, what was it? We hit the 45-minute mark before we ever started the show, and I know we're gonna go for another 10, 15 minutes at the end, if not more. It depends on how sleepy I am and how hungry I am, that I'm just like, I gotta eat wings or something.
So if you'd rather spend 3 hours at this thing, you should, give us some money, and you can get the episode early and get.
They have been that long before. Yeah, they're usually in the 2.5 hour range, where the episodes are 1.5 tops. usually.
Yeah, typically we try to limit it a little bit. We
Yeah.
do. We do, like, it's all one take, but it is cut.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we go back and I shake my head and I'm like, I read that one wrong.
Hey,
yeah, but
even if you don't want that, maybe you just want to join our Lemmy instance because you're looking for a Lemmy instance to join. Patrons get access to that as well, and then
that's right.
On top of all of that, you get some, set aside Discord space just for the patrons, as in addition.
That's right.
So there's some perks.
A lot of the like timestampy stuff. So you kind of get a preview of what's coming in the show, and some of the thumbnails and stuff like that, and a little bit of the chatter that happens in there as well. So, $1 gets you a whole lot. Honestly, it gets you some server space. It gets you a cool Discord space.
And then you get our undying love.
Well, you get that on any tier.
That's true.
You know what? You get that for free.
That is true. You get more of it, I think. I don't know.
Maybe so. I give you more emojis in the patron user space. So yeah, that definitely happens.